Perfect. Hello, my name is Sean, and I'm with FandomWire. Thank you so much for taking time to chat with me. Really enjoyed the film.
Thanks, Sean.
Perfect. So first of all, I do have to ask, all of you guys have varying degrees of connection to New York. I have to ask, did you guys find it hard having to cheer for the Red Sox?
You go, Logan.
I didn't have to cheer for the Red Sox. I think Teddy, is a Yankee fan, and but I think it more not as avid or certainly as obsessive as Marty, but it was handed down to him. Baseball, and as you saw right in the first scene, yeah.
Do you have
So,
anything to add?
oh, me? Yeah. I mean, I hate the Red Sox, and I hate the Celtics. I hate all Boston teams. So, um, but I know a good story when I got one, so it was easy to root for them, and I kind of root for them now.
Yeah,
Nah,
absolutely.
that's not true. That's not true at all. But
Yeah, and I mean,
I wrote this story before the Sox won their first World Series, and I thought, ah, they've screwed me. They fucking screwed me by winning. I got to put that story to bed. And then I thought, oh, there's an epilogue there somewhere. And I wrote an epilogue to the novel, and I wrote an epilogue to the script. So, but there was a few dark days after the Sox won, not only because they won, but because I thought they ruined a good story. I thought I wanted to tell.
yeah, and I think that really speaks to the power of the film. Obviously, the baseball elements are there, but it's not the core of the story. I think it's quite touching, even if there's someone who isn't a sports fan. What about this story do you think makes it feel so universal?
Well, it's really about parents and children, fathers and sons in this case, and it's about, I guess it's about communication. Do you guys want to help me out there? I'm
Yeah.
blanking on my own fucking story right now.
And I think it's all of us have to go through grief. Grief is a universal experience. However, it is absolutely ridiculously individual, which doesn't make any sense to me because we all have to do it. You'd think there'd be a fucking manual at this point, but there's not. So I think in terms of like how it does feel in its specificity, this is my favorite thing about storytelling. In its specificity, it becomes universal. In this very, very specific story about these two men who bond over a sports team, and it's really the only way they can talk to each other about anything, especially in the beginning, you sort of see yourself. You see your strained relationships with people you love. You see your inability to get at the things that really mean something, or maybe your ability to you experience through the film loss and grief and how you deal with it. And it is cathartic. I think film is cathartic in that way. There's a lot of stuff in our lives day to day, and there's no time to feel all the feelings. So we go to the movies and we sit in the dark with strangers that we know are also human, and we cry. And it's a great release for us. It's tales all the time, baby. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to talk about your character as well, because I think it's very unique in that in a lot of other movies, your character would either be like relegated to being a love interest or like a comedic sidekick. But in Reverse the Curse, I think your character is a pivotal part of the film's emotions. How do you approach your role in a way that, obviously is very funny at times, but is also rooted in that emotion?
Uh, in terms of acting, I I think one of the things that I allow myself to do is really become like a channel or like an open channel for the character. So whatever is happening in the scene, I am able to like let everything else go and just focus in on what's really happening in the scene and what do I really want out of who I'm in the scene with. And that changes from second to second, from millisecond to millisecond. And it's this really freeing experience to play pretend for me. It's play, it's joy, even in the stuff that's hard. I feel really connected to my own humanity when I'm acting, which might sound strange because it's playing pretend, it's not really me, but yeah, I feel it's just I don't want to say it's easy. It's not easy, but it's easy to allow myself to live in that experience. It's very easy for me to believe that everything that I'm doing, from the time that they say action to the time that they say cut, that everything is really real. And I love that feeling. I love getting lost in the story. And I don't know. I think that's what I hope that's what I brought to the character that was already really written that way, as like a person who becomes a conduit for other people experiencing grief.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely. And then, oh, sorry.
I'll say that I've never heard Stephanie talk about her work in that way, and no, but I would say that that was my experience of directing her, was that um, she didn't want to say it was easy. It looked easy for her to just go into the scene and come out of the scene, and it was quite impressive and mystical to watch how deeply she could go. How deep she could go just on one little direction. If I said something like deeper, she would just go deeper.
Yeah,
Really,
absolutely. I was very impressed. And
yeah.
another thing that I was very impressed by was the dynamic that the two of you were able to create as a father and son. It balances, you know, the humorous and the poignant. How did you guys build this kind of rapport between the two of you?
I'm actually Logan's father. I've never said this before, but
Big news.
I am Logan.
We worked
Logan
on it.
Logan doesn't know.
I'm still just, flailing in life without my dad, but now I have you.
Yeah, yeah.
We
Well, go
worked it,
ahead.
man. David and I think, got together and knowing that we didn't have any time. Um, so one of my favorite parts of the process was kind of the summer right before we did it, and like, David and I are both in LA, and we would just be like, "Hey, man, you free? Want to read that scene?" And we really were light. I don't think we took, we knew what we had to do on the day, but I think it was just really lovely trying to find the two men and that dynamic, and because we knew the house scenes were early as well, I think, and so we wanted to. Um, it was just really we approached it in a very light way, and we all kind of answered all those questions that you just don't have time to answer on an independent film. So
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely. Well, thank you so much again for your time. Really enjoyed the film, and I can't wait to see what you guys do next.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.